17 aeroplanes and 9 helicopters. The Dakar comprises of a small airport every day that needs to be set up in the middle of nowhere. These are pictures from Tichit in the middle of a sandstorm with aeroplanes coming in port wing down a bit. It is not easy at all for the air traffic controllers. For other help from above. He says this is very, very difficult for us. Here we are on board with the C-130 Hercules that transports much of our TV equipment, landing on the dry lake bed that is Tichit. Difficult for even the most experienced of pilots.
Visibility this bad. We only saw the runway at about 1 to 2 kilometers, and that is very unusual. I mean, it's very difficult when you come down and you land, and only 1 kilometer before the runway you only see it because of the drifting sand. So landing itself is no problem. It's just getting to see the runway to land without any navigation aids. It's very difficult.
The right bearing of the
runway. There's no radar in many of these airfields. It's just done on GPS points and a lot of radio communication.
Nous avons des placeurs pour
he says we've got people to help
au sol et au stationnement des
all over the place. We've got very, very qualified people from Total to make coordination with regards to refueling, and also very professional air traffic controllers who help the pilots get the planes in the best conditions feasible. Many times, though, the situation is more critical. In the past at Tajika, there have been GPS points that have been wrong, and in years past a civilian airline had a crash at Tajika, but we make sure that we get the correct GPS points on the Dakar. There are up to 400 people travelling by plane every day. Today, the stage from Tajika to Attar for the cars. It was a bit of a duel between Thierry Magnaldi with the broken vehicle and Stefan Orard with the 1.9 four-cylinder turbo diesel Volkswagen buggies. And likewise for Andrea Meyer. She came in very late, you'll remember, into Tichit. She had a lot of passing to do past the trucks that were lower down the order. The lone Schlesser buggy, the V6 Ford machine of Jose Maria Servio, got stuck in the sand and only just got out. Problems, though, for the former leader of this year's Dakar and former victor, Bruno Sabi from France, with his Volkswagen, stopped at kilometre number 130 on the 361 kilometre stage. Teammate Juha Kankanen and Juha Repo stopping to help out Sabi and co-driver Michel Perrin. Sabi saying the wheel nuts came off. Can you believe it? We stopped, we put the wheel back on, we got going again, but then the wheel nuts came off again. This time they made sure that they were done up extra, extra tight. At the moment, at the time of this broadcast, still Stabi not yet in to the stage finish here in Attar this evening. Carlos Sousa from Portugal. He's having a good rally at the moment, is Sousa. At the moment, he's up to 4th position overall with his Nissan pickup, the latter model that is. He had problems with the suspension. The shock absorber oil was so hot, it just seized. He almost had no suspension at all during the end of the stage. Janil de Villiers from South Africa. He started today's stage 23 minutes late. He had a problem with the accelerator. He was on the back foot right from the word go. What could have been for de Villiers? Maybe he could have been 3rd on today's stage. Instead, he was 7th. The South African now holding 5th overall. Gregoire de Mavius, pictures of him here. not having the best of day rallies overall. He's down the order some 13 hours back, but Damavius 6th on today's stage, only giving away 23 minutes with the older Nissan pickup. Here's Hiroshi Mashioka. You'll remember a few days ago he lost over 3 hours with suspension problems. Mashioka, though, really having been designated as chase car to Luc Alphonse and Stefan Pederhansel with the sister Mitsubishi Evo 3s. He had one puncture today. That was the only thing that kept Mashioka back. Mashioka 5th on today's stage, but as I said, way down the order in the overall standings. Volkswagen, well, with Audi and the same colour scheme and the same sponsor, they've had a good year in 2004. They were victorious in the DTM in Germany with Matthias Ekström from Sweden, and that run of good fortune and good engineering seems to be rubbing off with the Volkswagens in this year's Dakar. Jutta Kleinschmidt now 3rd overall with her Touareg. She today 4th on the stage. Here's Robbie Gordon. He had a couple of punctures, but he managed to keep the momentum going. Robbie Gordon losing a little bit of time today. Robbie Gordon 13th overall, of course, after having lost all that time a few days ago with the roll. Robbie Gordon only losing 17 minutes today. What could have been without those problems. En route here to Attar. Only 135 cars starting today's stage this morning, together with 167 motorbikes and 58 trucks. And then they still have got some very, very difficult stages still to go. Event director Etienne Levine saying if they thought that a couple of days ago was different, well, they better watch out for the day after the rest day and the day after. This Dakar will not lie down. Here is Stefan Pederhansel, 2nd on today's stage, 1 minute and 31 seconds back of the stage victor, his teammate, Luc Alphonse. But we've got problems for Pederhansel this evening. He limped literally across the finish line. The engine was smoking. The right exhaust from the right bank of 3 cylinders in his Mitsubishi was smoking greatly. There was enormous amount of oil on the edge of the exhaust. There was a lot of oil coming out of the breather, and that may bode badly for Pederhansel. But fortunately, he's got a rest day tomorrow. And fortunately, the genius Japanese engineer who built the engine, who designed the engine, who knows the engine inside out, back to front, is here this evening, and he can do all he can to rebuild that engine. Winner of today's stage, his first on the Dakar with Mitsubishi, Luc Alphonse. Luc Alphonse getting to the finish ahead of Pederhansel, Gordon 3rd, Kleinschmidt 4th. Now here